Hi Scorpio, welcome to Carol's Universe, Tarot Readings from the Heart. Thanks ever so much for joining me, my darlings. Glad to see you again. So you can see I'm on the video this week because I'm recording from my iPad Pro. It's quicker to upload. Usually I would hone the camera down on the desk. You see all the cards. It's all nicely edited and everything together, the reading, which I really enjoy doing. The only thing is it takes ages, and last week I was so pushed for time that I didn't even have a chance to upload the fire signs, which I'd done, and I just thought, you know what, this week let's just record via the iPad Pro, get these up so that they're out of the way, that type of thing. So for your reading this week, guys, it won't be like this every week, but there will be times when I just come on and just record. I'm just planning to put out a load more content onto the channel because I realised that some of my subscribers or the views have really decreased on the channel because I was away for 2 months. And obviously when you're, as a reader, when you're away and you're not on that often, people go elsewhere, which is fair enough. God bless whoever they've gone to. I know they're doing a fantastic job anyway. All the tarot readers on YouTube are absolutely phenomenal. Love them to pieces. But at the end of the day, it's time for me to start building my channel back up again. So we want to just start just kind of bumming, putting stuff out there as well, because I really enjoy this work and what I do. So for the reading, Scorpio, we are using Chris Ann Lightseers Tarot. Phenomenal deck. I was going to use... Actually, no, we're not going to use that this week for Scorpio. We've used those for the other signs. No, I'm going to use something else. I just thought, no, I want to use my This Might Hurt tarot deck. I really love that tarot deck as well. So let's put this one away because we've used this one quite a bit. So for because the water and the earth signs are the last one. So we're going to use the This Might Hurt tarot deck by Isabella Rotman, another one of my absolute favourite decks. And for your spiritual advice, the Power of Surrender cards and the Tea Leaf Fortune cards as well. So we're going to do it in the style of the Celtic Cross. And we're just going to see whatever message comes through, guys, okay? There's not going to be no sort of work reading, finance reading, blah, blah, what we usually do. It's just whatever comes through. So, Universe Spirit, show me for Scorpio. What is the message that you have for Scorpio this week, please? Between the 26th of January through to the 1st of February. What is the message that you have for Scorpio this week? Show me the message. What is the message that you have for Scorpio this week? Show me. All right, so let's have a look. And these readings are shorter as well, Scorps, okay? So they're not going to be like the 40, 50 minutes that I usually do. Because, I've just got some stuff to finish off and that type of thing. So I just thought it would be nice just to try and get everybody done on the same day. And get everybody out, hopefully, on the same day, which would be rather nice for a change. Let's have a look at what's going on here. Okay, let's have a look. So, what is the focus for this week, Scorpio? What's it about? The Hangman. All right, some of you guys, it may be that you are waiting for something to happen here. Also, the Hangman is all about taking a look at the situation from another perspective. But the Hangman is also ruled by Neptune, okay, which is the planet of spiritual awakening. It's also the planet that speaks of fantasy and illusion and dreams and that type of thing. So this week it might be that the energy around you this week is all about waiting and having to be patient, but also having to surrender and accept situations for what they are with the Hangman energy. What's influencing that Hangman this week? The Ace of Swords energy. Communication, answers, Ace of Swords energy. So I think that some of you guys are going to have to surrender to and accept an answer. Accept communication. Accept what somebody says. The Ace of Swords energy. Also, the Ace of Swords is all about the new idea. So maybe you need to surrender to a new idea, or maybe you need to surrender to doing something in a different way with the Ace of Swords energy, because the Ace of Swords is not just about clarity. And it almost feels like as well that you need to surrender to the Ace of Swords. So surrender to clarity, surrender to truth, surrender to, advice, surrender to... with this Ace of Swords, a new plan of action, a new idea, because aces are new things. What's the root issue? What's going on here? What's it all about? The devil. So addictions, temptations. I feel that you guys really need to kind of surrender to the truth of something here. And I feel that that truth is either you've got an addiction that needs to be cut out with the devil energy showing here. Maybe there's something here that's not so great in your life. Scorpio, maybe you need to surrender to the truth of that, the honesty of the situation here. All right, maybe you need to surrender to the idea that you need to cut away with the Ace of Swords from a person who's not very good, or an addiction or an unhealthy habit, that type of thing. And maybe you need to surrender to the idea that you need to cut away from obsessive thinking. There's something here that I feel hasn't been very good for Scorpio, but I feel that you need to surrender to the advice around that, to cutting away from that, to cutting it out, you know, cutting out an addiction, for example, smoking, drinking, whatever that thing is this week. I think that you need to do that. What have you guys been experiencing in the last 2 to 3 weeks? Well, a time of success. Even if it's not success or recognition or fame, then with the success, with the Six of Wands, what you've experienced is certainly support. So some of you guys may have been supported in the last 2 to 3 weeks, maybe to do this thing. Okay, within the last sort of 2 to 3 weeks. And I think that this week it's all about taking it really seriously, Scorpio, surrendering to it with the Hangman energy. What's the most likely outcome? The Judgment energy showing up here. Well, I just feel the most likely outcome is that you're still kind of at that crossroads where you say, let me weigh up the pros and cons of this, because Judgment is all about weighing up the pros and cons. Sometimes the Judgment card represents a release. Sometimes the Judgment card represents, you know, an awakening. Sometimes the Judgment card represents having to face up to our own demons, or having to face up to the truth. But also the Judgment energy is also about, as far as I'm concerned, weighing up the pros and cons. So you're still at that place where you're saying, let me think about this, right, let me try and make a decision about this. Do I go left, do I go right? But I'm going to clarify what it means by that Judgment card. When it says to us that the most likely outcome will be judgment, what does it mean by that? Because there are several cards in the tarot that just can mean lots and lots of different things. So what do you mean by the most likely outcome will be judgment? What do you mean the most likely outcome for Scorpio is judgment? And this can also be heeding the call of the universe, heeding the call of what the universe is trying to tell you. All right. Right, the Hermit energy showing up here, which is a very spiritual card, and the Four of Coins. Two cards which is really interesting. The Hermit represents insight. Four of Coins energy showing here. Gaining insight. I often see the Hermit as gaining insight, but also withdrawing from the things that we cannot let go of. The Four of Coins doesn't let go, the Hermit does. He tends to withdraw, but also gaining insight on what we cannot let go of, what we will not surrender. Can you see how she holds on to the Four of Coins? The bag. She won't surrender the bag. So gaining insight onto what we will not surrender to. So it almost feels like the most likely outcome is facing up to those demons. What is it or why is it that you will not let go of the certain thing, Scorpio? What is it? What's the hold up? What's the problem? Why are you so addicted to something? Why do you refuse? Because the Four of Coins is somebody who is refusing. Maybe they refuse to see the light, because the Hermit is all about the light and the Four of Coins is refusing that. So the most likely outcome is going to be a judgment. You're going to have to make a judgment on this. Okay, you're going to have to make a very, very big decision, because I think that some of you guys may be with that Four of Coins refusing to see the light. I think that you're refusing to see the light. I feel that you're refusing to see the clarity in a situation, because the Hermit is all about facing into the light. The Hermit sees the light. The Hermit sees very, very clearly. Yes, it does have a lamp, but it's gained insight. And the Four of Coins is refusing that. You know, we've also got the Hermit being Virgo. Okay, now the Hermit tends to abstain. He abstains from the material. You've got a Four of Coins which is ruled by Capricorn, all about the material. This person only cares about the material, the money, the clothing. Can this person abstain from that, from the material? So this is all about abstaining from the material as well. Abstaining from, you know, and the material as well, if you think about it, the devil is Capricorn as well. So this is all about the superficial and the material as well, Scorpio. All right, so some of you guys, this week, there is a need, and also the Hangman is all about letting go. But there is a need to accept the truth, I think, with the Ace of Swords and the Hangman here. Because the root issue is that some of you guys are addicted to things with the devil energy. Now, in the recent past, as I've said, last 2-3 weeks, you may have been supported in letting go of an addiction or something that you cannot give up. But the most likely outcome will be it's make or break time, judgment. It is now time to make a decision, because some of you guys, it's all about the decision, maybe about abstaining from the material and the physical. The Hangman is not attached to the physical. The Hangman is attached to the spiritual. So it is time now to lift oneself up from the material, which the Hermit and the Hangman very similar in their approaches to life. It's all about gaining a higher level of consciousness, which the Four of Coins does not have, Scorpio, because they're so attached to worldly goods. Some of you guys, it's make or break time. Are you going to release the physical? Because some of you guys are refusing to do that. You're refusing to see clearly. You're refusing to face up to the insight that is being put towards you, you know. This is all about abstaining. If this is something physical, the Hermit wants to abstain from it, because the Four of Coins is the physical things that we hold on to. Sorry about the shaky screen. It's the physical things that we cannot let go of. And sometimes you've got to do it. Maybe some of you guys enjoy buying loads of clothes, for example. Maybe some of you guys enjoy rich foods. Or you enjoy kind of, you know, spending your money, because at the heart of this is probably money as well. How much do you spend on clothing? How much do you spend on fancy stuff? You know, because I really feel that, you know, coming into this week, it's a real time. And also the Hermit needs to be reflection as well. So it's all about reflection as well. Hermit is reflection. So if you're doing judgment as the most likely outcome, which it's time now with the Judgment energy to take a closer in-depth look, to weigh up the pros and cons of the certain things. It's time to release with the Judgment energy. So if it's time to release with the Judgment energy, if it's time to make or break, or a make or break decision here, then it's all about reflection. Maybe you're needing to reflect onto the things that you're holding on to, because the Devil holds on to things as well. So this might be something superficially that you've been holding on to. Maybe you've been holding on to something superficial. Or maybe you've got a karmic bond. Maybe you're attached to something within your life, a relationship, whatever the case is here. It feels like whatever it is, whether it's, you know, clothing, whether it's, you know, a relationship, whatever it is, you're very attached to it, Scorpio. But the most likely outcome is we need to review that attachment with the Judgment time. It's time with the Judgment energy as well with that Devil to release that attachment here. Because you need to review. I feel with the Four of Coins as well, it's time now to review how important is this thing to you. Because the attachment with the Four of Coins is the attachment of the Devil. They're the same thing. They're ruled by Capricorn. Attachment to the material is Capricorn energy. You'll often find very powerful people, that type of thing. If you get a Devil for a really powerful person, they're attached to the material. They like all the nice pleasures and all the leisurely stuff of life. The shoes, the Prada, you know, the expensive designer taste. So some of you guys need to kind of reflect on your attachment, Four of Coins, to the physical. It's all about the attachment to the physical. This is something that needs to be reviewed now and relinquished for some of you Scorpios, which might be difficult. Whatever way that physical stuff comes into play for you, it's time now to review how important that is, and it's time now to try and take a little bit of a step away from it. And it could be something as simple as you have an addiction to buying. For me, I've got an addiction to, I'm a Scorpio, I've got an addiction, for example, to buying tarot cards. I've got over 200 decks. Now, I know that it's for my business. Some of the cards I probably don't need, but I love tarot cards. Maybe I need to kind of just say, okay, calm down on that a little bit here, because you do spend a lot of money on tarot. You know, it's that type of thing. What's coming in for you guys? The Chariot. So I do feel that you're going to, by the end of the week, I see that you're taking control. The Chariot energy. You're starting to succeed with the Chariot energy showing here. How are you approaching everything? I feel that you want help in this with the Five of Coins energy. Alright, can you see, I read this Five of Coins as somebody wanting help. So I think that you're approaching this as somebody who is willing to be helped through this. Because I do think that some of you guys have an addiction to something that needs to be given up. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a material thing of clothing, whether it's buying tarot cards, whether it's smoking weed, whether it's rich foods, whether it's expensive shoes, whatever the case is, it's the attachment to the material that needs to be let go of. And you guys are willing, you're open to being helped with the Five of Coins, which is nice. What is the advice from the universe on this, Scorpio? Page of Cups energy. I feel that you need to use the power of your mind, the power of imagination. What is it that you need to use the power of imagination for? What does, you're saying the advice is for Scorpio to imagine themselves. King of Wands energy, being successful. Accomplishment is the King of Wands. So you need to imagine yourself accomplishing this. King of Wands energy showing here. And you also need to imagine yourself as somebody who is strong enough and dedicated enough and motivated enough to achieve this as well. You need to consistently see yourself in a way, with the kings being the accomplishment, because kings represent knowledge, but also the ability to accomplish, because it's the end of the suits, you're accomplishing whatever it is that you set out to do. With the king being accomplishment, you need to kind of imagine yourself having already done it. All right, so you need to imagine yourself, yeah, I've actually done that, I've accomplished it. Okay, so you, in a way, the way that you do this and the way that you actually do achieve it, Scorpio, is not by doing it and thinking yourself every step of the way as being in the process, but it's by doing it, and while you're doing it, while you're, you know, gently kind of, you know, distancing yourself from the attachment, which is what the Hermit is as well, and that Four of Coins, whilst you're gently distancing yourself from the attachment to whatever that physical or superficial or material thing is, you need to be imagining yourself as having already accomplished it, with the King of Wands energy showing here, okay? What are your hopes? The King of Swords energy. I think your hopes are to gain some knowledge from this. Kings of knowledge. All right, so I think that your hopes are to gain some intellectual knowledge from this process. So it's really just to learn a lesson. But also the hope is to accomplish it, because we've got another king. And what is the... and also the King of Swords is emotionally disconnected. So I feel the hope as well is to emotionally disconnect yourself, because with all addictions, there is always an emotional investment in that addiction. Always, always. So whether it's a drug that you take... I hate this shaky screaming. Whether it's a drug that you take, whether it's the food that you eat, if you like cakes or if you like chips or if you like crisps or whatever the case is, there's always some form of an emotional reason why we do things. I buy hundreds of tarot decks. I've been doing tarot for about 5 years now, and I've amassed over 200 and odd decks, 200 and odd books. You know, if you look behind me, you see all those folders there. These are all my personal teaching folders that I put for myself. 1 tarot, 1 Lenormand, 1 Kipper cards. You know, I've got, I mean, you want to see some of the shit, you can see on here all of my writing pads. Those aren't it as well. I must have at least about 100 writing pads, big ones, you know, small ones. You know, all of my computer equipment dotted around my desk. You want to see it, it's like a spaceship. Bookshelves here of tarot and books, everything, every good thing, you know, because I love it. But sometimes there's a time to say, let's stop doing this for a little while, because we're just kind of junking ourselves up with stuff, because there is a penchant to have more. And that's what the Four of Coins is well. 4 of Coins is greed. So there's time now to detach, not just from the physical, the superficial with the 4 of Coins energy, but also from greed, the greed to have more to a certain extent, because we love it. We love what we have. It makes us feel fulfilled. Maybe the hope is to gain some intellectual knowledge with the King of Swords energy. You know, let's try and intellectualize this a bit and see why we're doing certain things. To gain knowledge is the King of Swords as well. Maybe the hope is to do that. Where are things leading? So we see you starting to surmount that chariot. You're starting to take charge. You're starting to get ahead. Where are things leading from that for you guys? Oh, the 4 of Cups. So finally you're able to turn it down. See that? Now the 4 of Cups is also a very, very good card. And this is what I always say within tarot. You want to look at the tarot from both sides of the coin. So the 4 of Cups, usually, like I had this, my website does very well. But over the Christmas time, which is why I wasn't on for 2 months, it went through the roof because I was doing so many year aheads. The cards gave me this card. I said, what's coming up for me? Usually, I've not been drinking any gin at all during January, but I love, like, around my birthday, I had a couple of gins. I love, like, gin and lemonade and ice. I don't drink much. I'm not an alcoholic or anything like that, but, you know, usually at night when I finish work, I like to settle down with a nice drink and read a nice tarot book or look at a few tarot readings on YouTube and that type of thing. But the universe told me with the 10 of Wands, it says, Carol, you're going to have too much to do. You cannot drink anything at all. And it was true, because usually I would start my clients at around, I don't know, what, 6 in the morning, and I would finish my clients at around 9 at night. I was starting at 5 in the morning and finishing at 2 in the morning with clients, 2, 3. So there wasn't, and then going to sleep and then getting up again, 3 hours sleep per client, you know, in between doing clients over the last 2 months. You know, sort of November going straight through to January time, all right? And that's what the universe was saying. It was saying, 10 of Wands, Carol, you've got too much work to do, no drink. Can you see how she's having to forego that? So this is a card about foregoing temptation as well. So when you get the 4 of Cups, it's not just about unhappiness and dissatisfaction. It says we forego temptation. So when somebody says to you with the cup, because the cup is a vessel, Scorpio. So when you get a cup card, it's saying, we give you this. Would you like this? You know, would you like this? Would you like a little cup of temptation? Can you see? And she's like, no, thank you. I'm resting. I'm sitting it out. Thank you very much. That's what she's doing. She's sitting it out. Yeah. So this is a card about refusing temptation. That's what the Four of Cups is as well. No drink. Foregoing the habits. See that? There you are, getting ahead towards the end of the week. So you go back, you say you like to buy clothing, the devil, you're attached. You're tempted. Devil energy is about temptation. Buy clothing, shoes. My twin sister's like that. She loves clothes and shoes. She's got so many. She's like me with the tarot. We like different things. I'm not really that bothered about clothes. I've got loads of them that I don't really give a shit. She always looks amazing, my twin does. Her figure is incredible. She just looks amazing. But she loves clothing. So say, for example, this was my twin. She would be overcoming, taking charge of her addiction to clothes. And so when she goes to a shop and they've got all these bargains on, what does she do? She says, no, thank you very much. I don't want to buy any clothes. No more clothes. Forego temptation with the Four of Cups energy. You're taking charge. Absolutely amazing. And that's what it is. It's just about detaching from the material this week for some of you guys. Because some of you guys, you might have overdone it. And also, the devil means excess. So you might have excessively drank, or excessively smoked, or excessively spent in the sales, or excessively bought stuff that you didn't need. But this week it's about drawing back, detaching from the material, from the superficial, and imagining yourself most of all through the advice cards. Imagining yourself to have accomplished this, King. And you guys are open to that, which is really nice. It's a lovely reading, and I wish you well with that this week. It is a week for detaching from the superficial and the material and focusing more on the spiritual and emotional. Okay, that's what this week is. Let's have a quick look at what the advice cards are. So Universe Spirit, what is it that Scorpio needs to surrender this week? What does Scorpio need to surrender to this week? Show me in one card. What do you need to surrender to? Surrender to prayer. Lovely. Surrender to prayer this week, Scorpio. Give yourself over completely to prayer. Can be the Hangman as well. When you pray from your heart, you will be heard throughout the universe, and answers and support will arrive. Thank you, Jesus. What an amazing reading. Oh, you know what? I just get like real chills when the reading just, whoa, bam, bam, connects like that. It's true. Surrender to prayer. Some of you guys, you know, you got these things that you're attached to, whether it's a relationship, as I've said, whether it's clothing, whether it's food, whatever it is. The devil is not a great attachment because it's attaching to something that is in the superficial but really gets you underneath there because it has underlying connotations to that card. But surrender to prayer because your prayers will be answered. If there's something that you need to give up or get over, the universe is going to come in and help you and support you this week through that. Thank you, Lord, for that. Oh my goodness. I know that a lot of people think that tarot reading is the work of the devil and it's evil and blah blah, but you know what, I was raised a Christian, a Seventh-day Adventist actually, and I have seen the work that these cards can do for people. I've seen it, and it just leaves me in awe every time I do it. Every time it just leaves me in absolute, it leaves me at the Hangman. It leaves me in a place of surrender. Just leaves me, even at times where I'm really worried about stuff. You just do the tarot, you speak to God, you speak to your guides, whatever you want to call them, through the tarot, and you just surrender. And that's the point. It's about surrender. This week is about surrendering. Surrendering that devil. Not surrendering to it. Surrendering it. Getting rid of it. Nice. What is the other advice in 3 cards through the tea leaf cards that you have for Scorpio, please? Show me in 3 cards. So, other advice. Let's have a look what the other advice is, Scorps. So the other advice, Scorpio, is nest. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you this week. There's a fair man. You're going to have dealings or a relationship with a man with blonde, grey or white hair. Gaval, involvement with the law as well. So there might be something to do. Okay, is the week to get your taxes in, guys. Okay, tax returns, that type of thing if you're self-employed. So it could be that as well. Lovely. Alright, that is your reading, my darlings. As always, Scorpio, you've always really supported me on this channel, and I love you guys, as you know, very dearly. You're my heart and soul on Carol's Universe. You really are. I see you as my sisters and my brothers on this channel. I love you very, very much. You know that anyway. I don't even need to say. I don't know why I keep saying it, but Scorpio, thank you for everything you've done. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, that is it. Like I say, thanks ever so much for joining me. If you'd like to order a reading, then you can click on the comment section below or in the description box. Have a great week, guys. God bless. Love you. See you next week. Bye-bye.